Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Leilu Nishamas live from Miami, from the soccer show. What's the name of this place?
Merchant Bank.
Base Medrash. It's not the first time I'm here. It's not the second time. It's probably like the third time, not more. So thanks for having me. Shkoyach Miami. So, because of the situation in Eretz Yisroel, we are going to say Kapitel Kuf Lamed, everybody together. And you know what's interesting? I keep on forgetting to mention it, so I'd like to mention it. They say, and I don't want to make ayin hara chas v'shalom, so maybe I won't say it straight out. We'll say beremez. But when was the last time you heard of a soldier that fell? Think about it. We had a bunch of deaths, 13, 15. And Klal Yisrael was taken upon themselves. They go in there 5 in the morning, 11 at night. 11 at night, come out 5 in the morning. That's when we learn Torah here in America. So people are kind of going to sleep. That's the best time for them to do the raids and everything. Many people, including MDY Koil, took upon themselves to learn hours during those hours. And even if you go to sleep in Eretz Yisroel, you say to yourself, I'm going to sleep. The schus that I should be able to learn Torah tomorrow. Klal Yisrael is giving them schusim. So we are here in the middle of the raids right now in Gaza. And we're giving them schusim. We're learning the schus, those on the front lines. Our brothers, literally, my nephew, my best chaverim are there. We had Dave Sharfman on Shabbos. Got a tzav shmona, means you better get back here. We're enlisting you. As soon as he got off the plane, straight to the army base. So, and this is Dave that does the tech behind the scenes. So we'll say Kapitel Tehillim, there's schos, and the schos of all those. Again, Mechayim Eisim Barachamim Rabim, Soymech Neuflim, Veroifei Choylim, Umatir Asurim. Everybody together. Shir Hamalois Mimamakim, Grosicho Adonai, Adonai, shmmoze Koili, Tienos Necho Kashuvois, Likol Tachanunoi, Im Avoinois Tishmorio, Adonai Miyamoi, Kimcho Asticho, Lemanti Vorei, Kivisi Adonai, Kivson Nafshi, Udvaroi Oicholti, Nafshi Ladinoi, Mesaimim laboiker, shemrim laboiker, Yachel Yisrael el Adinoi, Ki Adinoi Yachesed v'arbei moifedus, Vu Yivdes Yisrael mikol avenisov, Acheinu kol beis Yisrael anesunim b'tzoro v'shivyo, Oimdim bein bayom ubein bayabosho, Hamokim yirachem aleim v'yitzim b'tzoro l'rvachu me'afel loiro u'mishivu l'geulo, Hashto bagalo v'zman koriv v'nimar omein. Shkoyach, everybody. Remind you your name, Reuven? Reuven Tober was at the Shabbos. Shkoyach, thank you. And what did you tell me? You said you had a few lines. What were they? I don't remember. Bemis, I don't remember. What did you say?
I didn't meet new friends.
Oh, you didn't meet new friends. You met family. Givaldic. Okay. So.
Inspired Friday night.
Yeah, Friday night. We have item. 1 minute. Who here was at the Shabbos? Wow, that's not bad. 5 people in this room were at the Shabbos. It's very nice. This is as many people that we have in this year in Chicago. That's a big achievement. I am still jet lagged from the amazing Shabbos. I would consider the Shabbos one of the best Shabboses in my life. A couple came over to me, and the husband says in front of his wife, he says, this Shabbos was better than my Shever Bracha, it's better than my own proof. Yeah. So, 2 ends of the spectrum to describe the Shabbos just over a year ago was by far my saddest Shabbos, being in shock over my 2-year-old Ezra's sudden death, and still in Aninos, not being able to go to Shul, moving further away from Mashiach to this past Shabbos, truly feeling the closeness of Mashiach. amazing speeches, miras, and tefillah. Maybe I'll put on the big screen so I could read it. There's tefillah, just see it from all over hanging out. I don't think I've ever felt Mashiach closer. Here are 4 pics. First one is what my wife texted me when she left Motzei Shabbos, describing her emotions. I'm not going to put it on. The second is a picture of the one and the only Rabbi Yisrael Goldstein chapping in a nap right after B&H Mincha. Worked tirelessly over the entire weekend. It was so nice meeting so many yidden, specifically for me, since my grandfather, Rav in Young Israel, Jackson Heights, Borough Park, Shemer Muna, whatever. The shock, the yichus that he has. You gotta look and feel the one panemius. We'll have a Motzei Shabbos in the last dance. You pulled in the entire MDY Mishpach into one circle. The third and fourth small clip shows the love of a modernish yid and a chassid. For the modernish yid, you pulled in my friend from Fair Lawn, Danny Spector. It was high gray. It was his gray pants which gave it away. Smiley. Besides from the entire MDY Mishpach, together with the highlight was definitely Barry Ben Shushan's talk on Shabbos. I feel like many wives missed it, and I think my wife would gain so much from it, and somehow it can be replicated and recorded. I hope I can also somehow get the recording from the Sunday closing remarks. I forgot to mention my wife had one complaint. Okay, we're not going to say it. She said the coffee was shvach. Okay, that's what she said. You know what? That's a tremendous compliment, actually.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that I had a very small complaint. And I'm a caterer, and in terms of the food, it was just amazing. The whole everything, the graphics, and I don't know if I mentioned that 2 of our chaverim came from Eretz Yisroel. I kept on talking about the people from Eretz Yisroel, and I was focusing on the ones who canceled their tickets and paid double for their new tickets and made a big effort the last day. But I forgot to mention Chaim Snow and Yaakov Citron, both 2 big parts of our shir. Yaakov Citron he comes every day to shir. Chaim Snow is the videographer. They both came. They gave from themselves the entire thing without charging us. It was beautiful. All right, so Psur's Toivis Tani Palik. Thank you, Tani. And here's a clip. I like this clip a lot. You can see inside the clip, there's 2 people with streimels dancing with what he calls moderne shechever. Here we go. You can't see. Okay, gray pants, red shirt. Okay, you get the idea. Okay. And here, Rabbi says Baruch Foreman, our very own Baruch Foreman, on an army base, making a siyum on Seder Noshim. It's a beautiful thing, beautiful simcha. I heard they serve food there. There's a whole matzah. And this, Rabbi Say, is the siyum in Manchester. I don't know if this is 100% straight, but okay. Another, I'm Shai Rosenthal, part of the East Meadow MDY Chabura. I've been with MDY since the 2nd week of Brachas. He's invited to be on the cruise with us. I'm still, you know how many people that we never heard of them, they come over to me, I'm with you since Brachas. Deep down, they want to come on the cruise. They heard about this cruise thing. It's unbelievable. I'm still on a high from Shabbos. It was amazing and indescribable. Since I joined MDY, I was always looking for a way to give back to MDY. I'm lucky that Yossi Klein asked for help with the Shabbaton. I was able to assist. Shkoyach for all your assistance with the, the seating and the this and that. No, seating was Yochanan. What did he do? Something similar. Forgot what he did. Oh, the rooms. He did the rooms. It was a real treat to work up close with Yossi and Tomer, who dedicated so much of their time and energy. Thank you for the room you gave me. I got the presidential suite. It's geschmack. Make the Shabbaton amazing possible. The Evers really showed the beautiful Kiddush Hashem and display of Achdus we all got to experience together. Thank you to them for their hard work and everyone else that worked on putting on such beautiful Shabbos together. When can we sign up for next year? Remember what I said. Shai Rosenthal, co-founder, East Meadow, MDY Chabura. Wow, East Meadow, there you go. I said whoever came for the Shabbos this year gets first dibs next year.
We have a kosher hotel at the
How about the Durrell?
It's not a hotel.
Trump Durrell.
If it starts with Trump.
Destination there. I'm over 60 years old. Listen to this, Rabbi Say. Rabbi Stefansky. I'm over 60 years old, and I started Daf Yomi at the end of Gittin. I just finished the first full Masechta of my life. So the other people came over to me, they were 40. This guy's 60, first in his life. I've been to a couple of Siyums, and I'm looking forward to finishing many more Masechtas with MDY. On another note, I just learned that MDY promotional video, the one made by Fischl, was originally made with the Batman music. You can only imagine how much better it would be with the music that it was created to. In Batman, there were always things like pow and bam on the screen when there were fights, and they had the projector thing that looks like a telescope to show the message in the sky for Batman that is needed. All this has to be synchronized with the video just right to get the desired effect. So even if I turned off the sound and hummed the Batman music, no substitute for the real thing. The opening scene with the projector made no sense to me until I found out that it's supposed to be shown with Batman music. Can you show the video with the original soundtrack, Yaakov Subek? So I received this video from Fischl. He did it on his own without any of my input. And I said, Fischl, what's this? Da, da, da. He says, oh, this is Batman. No, I'm Panovich, man. I don't know what he's talking about. So I'm like, no, we can't show Bat. We don't do, this is Daf Yomi. We don't do movies. So, I'll be able to, I can't really push it. He's like, what are you talking about? The whole thing is based on that. Like, should have spoken to me first. Well, the guy is 60 years old. He made his first siyum. We got to show it for him, no?
Yeah.
So show it for him. Plus, Fischl put a lot of money into this. Hold on, here we go. Oops. All right, makes more sense now? So I messed it up. Tehillim in Miami is for it. Tehillim in Monroe, shtickle against. Tehillim in between, we have to know.
Change it to Basman. Maybe it's Basman.
The Masechta is sponsored for the unity of Am Yisrael. The Parnas HaChodesh Hatzlocha L'zechus Yosef Mayer ben Rochel and yidden worldwide. Parnas HaChodesh Nishamas Zechrya Ben Moshe and Nishamas Yosef. Parnas HaChodesh for Shlima, for the mother of Gershon Ben Moshe. Oh, Devara Daba Bas Miriam, I think it is. I didn't see this. I would have put the name up. But he told me, actually, not that I have a memory, but I asked him for the name over Shabbos, and I'm pretty sure. I know it's Devara Daba. I think it's Bas Miriam. She really needs rafur shleima, and whoever did this is a big tzaddik. Thank you. For Shlomo Yal Bas Miriam. She had surgery and had complications and needs our tefillos. She should have rafur shleima. Parnas Hayoim, brain intact. Unleash your full potential. Should be zoch l'nachas kedusha and tremendous success in all my endeavors. The third Parnas Hayoim, Sruly Bernstein, Leilu Nishamas, Yaakov Yosef ben Shlomo. Parnas Hayoim, Lauren Sarditza Spiegelman and family, in honor of the engagement of Avigail Adi to Michal Candidash. May they build a binyan adiyad, a Am Yisrael and a binyan adiyad. Mazel tov to Lawrence Spiegelman. You all know him, right? Parnas Hayoim, Cellular Israel, shmmoze with ease in Eretz Yisroel. Oh, we're doing advertisements. Oh, but that might be Avremy. Good. In honor of Reb Eli, Avremy, and all the mesaimim families. In the art of the month, is been chai sorrow for all the schusim that come from supporting Limud Torah. If anybody wants to donate $100,000 to MDY for 3D animation, not a problem. I'll take the check. Yishkoyach. We're upping it. Another notch and another notch until we get it right for the entire Shas. Okay. Forget this. Here. It goes like this. What we're going to see on Amud Aleph is very, very simple. It's an easy sugi because we're going to say it once and basically repeat the same idea a number of times, the same language and everything. Let me just tell you real quickly what the sugi is about. Al regel achas. Basically, if we take two things, bar and aish, because the Mishnah, the first Mishnah has Arbavis Nazikin. If you take 2 of the 4, bar and ash, a pit, and fire, so we can learn this idea that if somebody places a knife on a roof, call it a bowling ball, on the ledge, and comes a wind and blows the bowling ball off and hits a car, on the one hand, it's similar to bar, but it's not 100% bar. But it's similar to fire, but not 100%. But if you take the 2 things together, we come out that you're chayiv. Okay. Now if you take bar and shar, and take those 2 things, we can learn other halachas. 3 halachas we're going to learn. It's interesting because the Gemara brings that as almost like different explanations. But in fact, if you look in the Gemara, there's a tzion to the halacha in all 3 cases, and therefore they build on each other. So we're going to learn a halacha called bar hamizgalgal. You're all familiar with the bar, right? Somebody comes and makes a hole in the ground, that's a bar. What if somebody puts a bowling ball in middle of 41st Street, comes somebody, gives it a little kick, kicks it down the road, comes another person, kicks it down, eventually lands somewhere where an old lady trips over it and breaks her hip. So that's bar hamizgalgal. It moved, you put it over here, it ended up somewhere else. Are you chayiv or potter? Chayiv, because it's a combination of a bar and a shar. The same thing, you're going to learn that this is what I did, and then Yoshi took it away, but when Chachamim allow you to do something, they allow you to do something, but it's mazik, you are chayiv. You hear what's going on there? Sometimes you're allowed. The city says you're allowed to do X, Y, Z. Yeah? Example. You're an ambulance driver. You're allowed to go through a red light. You went through a red light and you hit a pedestrian. You're chayiv. You're allowed to. We gave you permission, but be careful. It's your problem. Another thing. What if you plant a tree? Here's a very interesting shiloh. Think about it. These are all beautiful shilohs. Because the Nagaya to us as well. You plant a tree in your backyard. You allowed to plant a tree? Yes. It's a beautiful thing. It grows. Is there any problem? Is it a bar? No. Eventually, 50 years later, it weakens up. And all of a sudden, it falls down. So we have something similar to a bar, but not a bar. Why? Because when you planted it, it was a beautiful thing. A bar, when you take out the first scoop, you're creating something that damages. Over here, you created something positive. You built a house. It's a positive thing. It's strong. It's not going anywhere. A few years later, it falls on a car. It's a bar, but not like a bar. So you need a combination of bar / shar, and we learned this halacha as well, that you're chayiv. Now, that goes all the way down to the bottom of Amud Aleph. I'm telling you, it's a simple sugya. So it goes like this. Says the Gemara. We learned in the Mishnah, if you take all these things that we had in the Mishnah, shar, bar, eish, mava, we take these things and we put them together. We get a certain halacha. But what halacha do we get that we didn't know before? That's not in the Mishnah. Omar Abaya, take a stone, a knife, a package. I like to think of it as a bowling ball. It's heavy, it's really dangerous, and it could roll off a roof. I could see how somebody put it on the edge of a roof, and comes a normal wind, a 5-mile-an-hour wind, gives a little push, boom, serious damage. So, shmaka joke, Rabbi say. 3 Nishamas come up to Shemayim at the same time. And they're about, come up to Shemayim. There's a din Torah. What did you do in this world? They're told, listen, we're sorry. We're about to close shop here. We don't have time for you. Come back tomorrow. But you know what? We're running a sale here. If one of you 3 could prove that you had the worst death, we'll put you straight in Gan Eden. Okay? So first guy goes, listen, I was in bed. I heard a lot of noise in my house. I realized I'm being robbed. I pop out of bed. I start looking around. I can't see a guy. I look over downstairs, and I see I'm 5 floors up. I see a guy running right by the building. So, okay, I pick up this heavy refrigerator. I schlep it. It's really difficult. I toss it over, and I hit the guy right in the head. You know how hard that was for me? I was stressed out. I thought somebody's in my house. I'm lifting this heavy weight. I got a heart attack, and I died. It's really sad. Okay? Second guy says, I was taking a jog in Miami, just minding my own business. All of a sudden, I get hit by a refrigerator and died. It's like, wow, that's really serious. The third guy says, those two guys are a bunch of jokers. You know how hard it is for me? I'm robbing this guy's house, and I hide inside a refrigerator. Okay, anyway, so this guy put something on the roof. This thing fell off the roof, right? Hits a guy in the head. Somebody is running by. It's a ruach mitzuya hezek. Hey chidami. Ask the Gemara, okay, so what exactly is your case? I need to know your case. If, as this refrigerator bowling ball hits the ground, causes damage on the spot, that's a fire. It went from here to there and it damaged. Fire, you need wind, you need something to push it. It's your property, you have a chrais to watch it. You have to come onto the wind to push it off the roof. Fine. So it can't be that it happened on the spot. So you must. So Rabbi says, just remember these words. We're going to have the same exact words over and over. Once you know this, you know the whole of it. Almost. So it's talking about that the bowling ball falls off the roof. It's waiting around on the sidewalk for 5 minutes. Comes a klutz, trips over it, breaks something. If you didn't want to have anything to do with this bowling ball, bein l'Rav, bein l'Shmuel, hainu bar. Remember, Rav says, ask the question in Shabbos over there, right? What it was, right? If you put a bowling ball in the street, so there's machlokes. Is it considered like a shar? Because you took your animal and put it there, you took your bowling ball, put it there, or is it considered a bar? Machlokes Rav and Shmuel. But if you're mafkir it, you say, I have nothing to do with it, I have nothing to do with this bowling ball, then everybody agrees it's a bar. So Maishna bar, then it's exactly like a bar because it was created to damage. And you own it, and you have to watch it. Therefore, if you take a bowling ball, put a middle of Rishus Harabim, and you walk away, then it's a bar. I don't need to learn it from any two things together. It's a bar like any other bar. Ela del Hefkerino. So you're talking about that it's not Hefker. L'Shmuel d'Omar kula mebar lemanu hainu bar. If you are mafkirit, then according to Shmuel, this is a bar. And what about Rav? Rav says it's a shar. But the Gemara doesn't ask a question on Rav. The Gemara is only asking a question on Shmuel because it's not really a shar, right? If you think about it, it doesn't share the same characteristics as shar. You didn't have kavanah to be mazik. Okay, whatever. So you need to come, according to Rav, you do need to come onto a combination of shar and bar. But according to Shmuel, this is a bar. If it's not hefker, according to Shmuel, it's a bar. If it is hefker, according to everybody, it's a bar. So what's the big chiddush here? Says Gemara, there's a big chiddush. Loilam dafkerinu. You made it hefker. V'loy damal bar. I wouldn't be able to learn a bowling ball that you put on your roof, and you said it's hefker. Whoever wants to take it. Comes the wind, knocks it off, falls to the sidewalk. Somebody comes and gets damaged by it. I would not be able to learn this out from bar. Why? Bar. You created a pit in the middle of the ground. That's it. It stays stationary. So comes somebody else and falls into it. That's not another power. It's whoever injured himself. Over here, you had to come onto a wind. The wind pushed it. Says Gemara, very good. The wind pushed the fire. But fire, that's its nature. You light a fire, it's going to burn down a forest, it's going to burn down a house. Bar doesn't go, and it doesn't go to be mazik. Because it goes around in a circle. Fine. So I learned from both of them this halacha. That if I put an object on a roof and comes the wind and blows it off. So now I have a combination of fire and a pit because it had a koyach acher. It's not darkei lahazik, but if I take everything together, I learn this idea that you're chayiv. Rav Amar, and this is what I'm telling you, that Rav is not arguing, he's adding. Nu halacha. So if you look back at this chart, now we're holding by halacha number 1. Rav Amar lasui boram is galgal beragli adam or beragli behema. So, boram is galgal beragli adam or beragli behema. You have a bowling ball that was placed in one place in Rosh Hashanah, and eventually ended up in another place. People kept on knocking it down the road. You have a banana peel. You ate a banana, threw it on the sidewalk. Comes somebody and sees that it's dangerous, gives it a kick. And then eventually somebody trips on it. A good mashal bar misgalgal b'zman hazeh is a really bad WhatsApp clip. You get a nice clip, a bad clip, and you send it to somebody else, and they send it to somebody else. It keeps on rolling. So you cause damage. A Lashon Hara clip, something. There was a guy a few years ago. They sent me a clip of a frum guy on Chalamayid with his entire family, enjoying himself in a trampoline park, and his pants fell off. And this clip is running around. This guy has to marry off his kids soon. What are you sending this clip out? It's bar misgalgal. And that's from the better ones. They're clips that you're not supposed to forward. Do not forward. But mida taiva meruba, if you have a nice YY Jacobson clip, a 20-second chizuk, a nice speech that somebody said, whatever, that's also a bar mizgalgal l'taiva. That could be a good thing. It is a good thing. Rav Amar lasui bar mizgalgal b'ragel adam b'ragel behema. Hey chidami, what does it mean? Eat afkarinu. You ate a banana peel and you don't care about it. You threw it on the floor. Ben l'rab ben l'shmal han a bar. That's a regular bar, maishna bar. Why would it be any different than a bar? It was made to damage. The banana peel is there for somebody to trip on and slip. It's your chiyuv to watch it. No, I wanted to hold on to the banana. According to Shmuel, it's a bar. Same thing as we had a second ago. No. It's hefker. Bar, you took action, you wanted it, you dug it. Over here, not. Malashar. Why? Because over here, your action was in spot A, it ended up in spot B, so it wasn't your action that did it. By a bar, your action was in spot A, and that's where they fell. That what? That the owner didn't cause the damage. It happened over there in another place. So over here, what you see is we're going to take a combination of two things in the Mishnah, a shar and a bar, and they're going to produce a new halacha. And that's the halacha of a rolling damage. I put a damage over here and it ends up over there. It's a combination. It's a hybrid. It's a bar slash a shar. Bar techiach. It goes around in a circle. This has a mila, this has a chisar, this has that. The bottom line is that I can learn out something called bar hamiz galgal. From what? From both a bar and a shar.
When we say a bar has to be 10 tefachim, that's the amount to make a damage. A round ball doesn't have to be 10 tefachim as long as it can damage somebody.
No, so what we said that bar has to be 10 tefachim, that was to kill. And a 1-inch bar that somebody trips in, your chayiv damages. Yeah, anything. Anybody that trips in it. The other thing that we said the other day, what did we say? That bar doesn't, you're not chayiv for kalim. Yeah, a chayiv for kalim. You're chayiv for damage. Yeah, no. So 10 tefachim is not. 10 tefachim is for killing. Then you're chayiv for killing the animal. And then we said that if it's less than 10 tefachim, the animal died. It wasn't from the bar; it was from somebody who had a other condition. But you damage something; it doesn't matter. There's no, that has nothing to do with tefachim because it could be, like you said, it could be a couple centimeter banana peel that also caused somebody to break their rib in their chayiv. Yesterday we spoke about the nail, very theoretic thing. I have no idea what the halach is over there, but and that you don't even see. It's here's another halacha says Rav. So here it would be the second one. Basically, what's going on here is that there were certain times. I mean, we can't imagine living in that generation, in that time. The smell must have been unbearable, but they got used to it, I guess. There was no sewer system, nothing. People did their thing, and that was it. It was in the house, out of the house, but it was there. It didn't go to another city away in piping underground. So think what happened over there. I could get rid of my sewer water, v'garfim or have some sort of cave that have a lot of mud in it. I could take out the mud. You're talking about in places like Iraq, Israel. It doesn't rain in the summer, so everything is dry. And, if the street gets dirty, that's it. You're going to wait now by us in Eretz Yisroel. If somebody spills something in the street, I don't know what, garbage drips in the street, you have to wait until the next rain. They barely have those machines that come around, we have some fake street washer kind of things. They don't really work. So there's no rain for 3 months. There's no 4 hours, however long it is, no rain. So what are you going to start taking your sewer water and pouring it out in a public street? You can't do that. It's disgusting. But in the winter, there's a lot of rain, a lot of mud anyway. No, who cares? A little bit sewer water, it's not going to hurt anybody. Yeah, it's a little gross. Nobody can see the difference between mud and some other stuff. Looks, it's all the same color, same texture, gewaldig. So, yesh lan rishus, they have rishus. But listen to this. Even though you have rishus, if it caused damage, you chayiv. I mean, we could be somewhat familiar with this. Like if we're driving a car and we blow a red light and we hit somebody, oy vavoy, it's big. I don't know, you go to jail, I don't know what happens. I don't know what the einish is. But he had a green light and there was a kid walk, it's a different thing. They might punish you a little bit, maybe not, whatever. Do you have rishus or you don't have rishus? It's a big question. So we're saying if you have rishus, it doesn't mean you're not chayiv at all. It means that we're giving you the rishus, but be careful. Like you said before with the ambulance, I don't know for sure. I'm thinking to myself, ambulance driver, he has rishus to go through red lights. Doesn't mean he could be negligible. It doesn't mean he could just floor it and not look to the side. He sees a car coming, doesn't slow down, and it's on camera, and we see that he hit the car. He can't say, "Hey, Your Honor, I was on an emergency call and I had a red light." He say, "But look, you saw, you knew." They'll still go after him. Rishus / damage doesn't mean that you're free to go. What's the case? So another thing is, Rabbi, this is a true story. There was a guy that was really poor, and he saved up some money to buy himself a kapata. So he saved up money. He comes to the guy, and the guy says, "Look, you could buy like the worst fabric, nothing. It's weak. After a few weeks, he says, this is what I have." So he makes himself a kapata. Comes to the shul, and people start patting on. "Oh, beautiful kapata, beautiful." All of a sudden, it starts tearing here, tearing there. The guy gave him a little big ma'aseh shaya, and they started making fun of him. So the V'chaim of Tzan said that this is a mashal to us in Olam Haba. He said, this poor person had a good reason. He couldn't afford it. But the good reason, excuses, doesn't mean you're not going to have a hole in your coat. You could have all the excuses in the world, but unless you have a hole in your coat. Excuses don't really work. Come up there, it's like, oh, I couldn't do the daf because I had to take my kid here. But at the end of the day, it's just an excuse. Now you have a hole in the mesef. You don't have this daf. It's just an excuse. You have a beged with a bunch of holes on. Great excuses, but people laugh at you. They're going to make fun of you up there. I had a reservation. I had to go. I have a reservation with my mishpacha. Yeah. I'm just kidding. We all do. No, I'm saying, like, I'm laughing to myself, all the excuses I heard. Why weren't you there on Shabbos? Because of this, because of this, because of this. Your excuses are nothing compared to that guy that came from Florida over there, from the guy that left who knows what and came over there. But these are excuses. They're great. You don't know what to do with your 3-year-old. I get it. But they're excuses. At the end of the day, they're excuses. We all have excuses in Tirutzim. Some know how to overcome them, and some don't. No? You didn't have 10 excuses why you shouldn't come. Exactly. It's in a real estate convention. He has 1 million people to talk to. He came here. There's always excuses. I met a guy last night. Come to this shit. I'm tired. We're all tired. These excuses. Where are we? It's literally, right? You understand what I'm saying? It's the same wording, the same everything. We're coming out with nice halachas here. If these waters, these sewer waters went and touched somebody's clothing as they're pouring out, that's koichai. Oh, Rabbi side, we have a nice, here we go. I almost forgot about this. Wow, Hashem help me. This is a new piece of art for this Shiloh right over here. Here. I actually spoke about this. You see the sponge stick on top? Oh, you guys don't see it. You see, it's interesting because those signs on the wall, I want to tell you about them in a second. Hold on. We'll talk about them. Remember the signs on the wall, yeah? Okay. Next. So says the Gemara, if the Yerushalmi guy was walking in the water, hit him, that's literally, he damaged the Yerushalmi. This is, I saw Rabbi Yitzchak Sefer, he talks about this, like a guy lights a menorah on the 5th floor, and oil spills down. So based on this Gemara, if as he's pouring the oil spills down, that's koichai. Okay, that's one halacha. If he put it into the cup and later on it spilled, that's what do you call it? Happened later. That is no, this is Avremy v'sakinoi on top of the roof, and then if it happened much later, it's a whole. It could be relevant to us, is what he's saying. It was an if he made it hefker ben l'rab ben l'shmuel hainu bar. If the water, he made the water hefker, of course he is, because it's dirty water, then it's a bar. Ma'ishna bar the tchilas hasis l'nezik u'moin chashmur zalecha and tchilas hasis l'nezik u'moin chashmur zalecha. And the lo hefker, same words that we had before. So there's no hefker. L'shmuel dam kula bebar l'manu hainu bar. Then it's a bar. Going to Shmuel lo'elam says the Gemara hefker. We made it hefker. But l'dam bar is not a bar. He didn't have permission to create a bar. Chachamim said, you have all the right in the world to spill your mei shoifchim outside. Shar goes, he's allowed to walk wherever he wants. The Chachamim said he's allowed to walk on the highway. But a shar is different because its nature is to go and to damage. Bar doesn't go. It goes around in a circle. And now I have a new halacha called something that's done b'rishos. Even if done b'rishos, you chayiv. Rabbi Omar lasuye hadisnan another halacha. Hakoisel vayilan shenaf l'rishos harabim v'ziku pater milashalem. See if I can get here.
Sponsor?
No sponsor. I don't think we have one. Maybe we do. It sounds familiar. I certainly don't have it here.
Belsky from
Yeah. We need more. What is it? Sharemarket.com. Let's see this now. Elon. You see this? This is a halacha that if a person was allowed to, Shalom Aleichem, there's 50 people online now watching live. Beautiful. If a person was allowed to build this house, he was allowed to plant this tree, and it was good, it was done in good faith, and it's a nice thing, it's a positive thing to build a house, it's a positive thing to plant a tree. And then later on, something happened to the house or tree. So that's not like a bar. It's different than a bar. Now I need to come on to another halacha to support this halacha and say that this is also chayiv. I just thought it was very interesting. How many people, because we have like these coconuts and stuff, how many people die a year from coconuts falling off a tree? A year. Anybody? Okay, how many people die a year from shark attacks in the entire world? He's looking it up. Don't look it up.
7.
More coconuts and sharks, but a lot more. 150 people die a year from coconuts versus 5.
25
Five
more
sh-
on Zoom.
What?
25 more just jumped onto Zoom.
25 more on Zoom. Okay. Yeah. Coconuts worldwide, sharks worldwide. I told this to my wife, so my wife is like telling my kids, get away from the coconut tree. Potem l'shalem. So if the wall fell, then you potter. Nasal izman lakots. And so if Chacham say, listen, it looks like it's about to fall. You have 20 days to do it. If it fell within the time they gave him, he's potter. After the time, he's chayv. Says the Gemara, just interesting as a side note, that if a person has, let's say, an apple tree and it's about to fall, and like the city comes by and says, "Hey, you got to take it down." What do? It's a baltashkas, it's the reisa. But if it's a hezek, it could damage other people, and you have to take it down. So one eitzah is to take it down with the roots. The other eitzah is to. Another thing is to tell a guy, have a guy do it. You don't do it yourself. Okay. In terms of this, they say a joke in Yerushalayim. It's not a joke, but how come all these walls in Yerushalayim don't fall? We have the trees because they're all held up by those pachkevilim, by those signs. Says the Gemara. Lagazman chay. Says the Gemara Chidami. What's the case? If he was mafkir, the tree, he says, I don't want it anymore. That's a typical bar. It fell, hit somebody's chayiv. The hezek is there, is found. In other words, the hezek is common, and you have to watch it. So too, this tree. And if you didn't mafkir, if you weren't mafkir, all these items are like a bar. Mamish word for word like we had on Amud Aleph. This fear is a little different. Bar was created to begin with to damage. Fine. These were created. Thank you very much. These were created to beautify, to have fruit, whatever it was. So it's very different than a bar. The combination of a bar and a shar. I have a new halacha that if I planted a tree or built a house, and years later they turned into a bar, so it's not a typical bar, because a typical bar was created as a bar, and this was created as something good, and over its lifetime turned into a bar. It's also something that you're chayiv. Why? Because I combined two halachas to learn a new one called tzad shava of a bar, and a shar creates this new halacha called a tree that falls years later. Okay, new sugya. It says in the Mishnah, kishehizik, and when you cause damage, chav hamazik, the mazik is chayiv. So the Gemara asks the simplest question. What's the question? What's this word chav? What should the word be? Chayiv. Very simple. Chayiv hamazik. Chav hamazik. Chayiv hamazik miboyle. Should have said chayiv. Omer Rav Yidom Rav Haitana Yerushalmihu. This is Yerushalmi guy. Or Yerushalmi Tana. The Tani Lishnik Alila. They cut. It's interesting because I'm thinking now, what's the word that they always say? They say certain words even now. They'll take off an aleph. Whatever. Okay, but it doesn't really mean a Yerushalmi from Yerushalayim. L'chayr means from the entire Eretz Yisroel versus Bavli. So Bavli Yerushalmi doesn't mean Yerushalayim. The Yerushalmi wasn't written only in Yerushalayim. Okay, just there's a little bit of a problem because then all Mishnayos were written in Yerushalayim, in Eretz Yisroel, not in Bavel, l'chayra, and therefore then we should have a lot of these issues with the wording. Okay, but they say that even in Eretz Yisroel there's a lot of chutznikim. There's a lot of people from Bava. And that's why we get this other lashon. Maybe even most of them were from Bava originally. Okay, Zok the Gemara. L'shan teshlumin nezek. Now I have a little bit of a sugya. Whose field? And we had this sugya before in Gita and Mamish word for word. L'shan teshlumin nezek. At the end of the Mishnah, we learned that if you pay with real estate, you have to pay from your best stuff, from the best zechorya. Whose best stuff? There's two people there. There's the damager and the one that was damaged. What do you say? Who? Ruven. How do you know?
Make sure.
Oh, like I said yesterday, that to make sure that you don't, that we had somewhere that keep him from being mazik. That's what you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
The person that got damaged has better stuff. It's the same.
If I damage his stuff,
Yeah, it's
that's
the
gonna
same-
keep
same
me
stuff.
right?
If he has nice.
Relax.
Torah Baron. Made of Sadeu, made of Karmi Yishalim. Let's see what's going on here.
What are we doing? The signs.
Oh, here. What signs?
The one with the sponge. on
Hold
it.
the thought.
That's what I said. I already said the joke that the signs keep up the wall. Oh, anyway, so here's the pasuk. Yavrish Sadoi Cherem, V'shilach is biro yibir is the acher, made of Sadeu, made of Karmi Yishalim. You took your animal, you sent your animal to somebody's field, to another person's field, made of Sadeu. Here, if you see the pasuk here, you have to see this for a second. V'shilach biro yibir is the acher. He grazed in another field, made of Sadeu. His best field you should pay. Whose best field? His, meaning the guy that you grazed in, or the grazer. So you were sure that it's the damager he has to pay. Zagizund, enjoy, bring some food back, okay? Starving. Torah Bara, made of Sadeu, made of Karmi Shalim, made of Sadeu, Shalnizik, or made of Karmi Shalnizik. The Rebbe Shmuel. So over here it's different than you guys said. Over here it means the best of the one that was damaged. He has a bunch of fields. Give the best one. We're going to see in a second. Rebbe Kiva Omer, and we like Rebbe Kiva, right? We usually pass him like him, especially if he's one-on-one with another Tana. The mazik's karka, that's the one you have to pay. And certainly hegdish. As the Gemara Reb Shmuel. If the animal ate the best of the best, the truffles, the very expensive vegetables, you have to pay the best. He ate some lousy cucumbers. He has to pay the price of truffles. It makes no sense. There was a row of cucumbers, and there was a row of truffles, and a row of tomatoes. We don't know what he ate, so we're going to say, you know what? Since we don't know what he ate, pay the top of the top. What is that called? What is that a contradiction to? We always say this halacha over and over throughout Shas. What? Why should he pay the best of the best? Maybe he should pay the worst. You have to prove it, not me. We don't know what he ate. The Shmei has to pay the best. Ask Rava the obvious question. If you know for a fact that he ate the cucumbers, he only pays cucumbers. Now that you don't know, you should pay truffles. Yeah, there's the famous mice with Ryan Galinsky. He says he was giving a shir, and his mom's like now was at the end of the shir and people were falling asleep. So he said, Olav. He answers it. He says, Olav, no, Olav, and the guy goes, Hashalom. Okay. Says the Gemara. His stories are Kiman Hayas also. How about you, Chavel Raya? Elo Maravach Yaakov Achmaiski. No, I'm going to show you Idis the Nizak Kizibur the Mazik. Oh, so the Idis, the best of the Nizik was like the worst of the Mazik. Ubapligi. Now your head is going to spin. So therefore, I have a picture. Oh, but you guys don't have a screen. I love it. And the guy told me that I shouldn't push these buttons so loud. I'm going to have to get better at it. Okay, here's the... What you see is, the guy on the top is the mazik, the guy on the bottom is the nizik. You see he's all bandaged up. It looks like biting a little bit in a bandage. Okay. The guy on top has 3 properties. He has one in Kfar Sabra, one in Bet Shemesh, his Beininis, and one in Yerushalayim and Tzidis. The other guy has Kfar Sabra, Kfar Ahmed, and Kfar Aza. I learned is a mistake. It has to be Aza. I forgot to fix it. Not a Kfar Aza, because Kfar Aza happens to be a Jewish settlement. I just learned that now. It's Aza. There is no depressed real estate in the world like Aza right now, right? You probably could buy the entire Aza for like
Developers.
yeah. Maybe it's expensive. I don't know. You're gonna buy it on what do you call it? It is. It should be very expensive, but okay. Anyway, the Mazik Ziburis, his worst of the worst, his Kfar Sabra, is exactly like the best of the Nizuk, because his worst is Aza, his best is Kfar Sabra. So the Kfar Sabra is his best, which equals the worst of the Mazik. Now what do? He said he should give. Where are we? Yeah. Okay. The guy that got damaged, his best property is worth is as much as the guy that damaged. He's a multi-gazillionaire, Bill Gates. His worst property, halavai and us, right? Halavai, we should own like something like his worst property. It probably didn't happen yet. Okay, but let's just say he has like a little house somewhere. You know what? Elon Musk, he doesn't even own a property. He owns he rents. So fine. I think Gates has like a $70 million home, or maybe more. I don't remember anymore. Which is nothing. Here's the machlokes. Because now we're talking about the currency. We're talking about Rabbi said, we're talking about how do you pay? With what currency? I go by the damaged. And therefore what? I give him Kfar Sabra. I don't give him Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim is way too much for him. I go by the damaged guy's best. What's his best? Kfar Sabra, not Yerushalayim. Just give him Kfar Sabra. No. Unfortunately, you're going to have to pay him in Yerushalayim house. Now, if I damage an apartment in Kfar Sabra, do I have to give him an apartment in Yerushalayim? No. But I give him a storage unit in Yerushalayim that's valued the same as his apartment in Kfar Sabra. It doesn't mean I have to lose money on it. I have to pay whatever I damaged. But give him the best of the best. Give him the stuff from Yerushalayim. My time with Yishmael, never saw the lamata, never saw the lamala. In the same pasuk, the nizik shayminon. Here I'm just showing on the. Let me just show how it works. We'll do it again. The nizik shayminon, just for the people watching. And here is the mazik shayminon. I give you Yerushalayim. Okay, awesome. Now it says in this pasuk, Yaver Yisrael. We saw the pasuk. It says ubir bizdei acher in black. Bizdei acher. Meitav sodehu, which is sada, meitav karim yishal. It says the word sada twice. That he grazed in another man's field, and you should pay him the best field. So we have sada. Where did he graze? In the damaged field. So it's the field of the one that was damaged, the nizuk. Afsada hamar lamata. So too says Rabbi Shmuel, the one you pay, what do you pay? The nizuk, based on the one that was damaged. Rabbi Kiva says, no, forget the pasuk. Rabbi Kiva meitav sadeu meitav karim shalom. Forget the hekesh between the two words. I'm not using that. No gzer shava. What I'm using is the actual pasuk. It says in the pasuk, the simple meaning of the pasuk is meitav sadeu meitav karim shalom. The one who's paying should pay from his best field. So it's by the mazik. I go after the mazik, not after the nizik. Says Rochel, you're right. The simple meaning in the pasuk says that it goes by the mazik, but let's use it also for something else. The case that we just said, that the best of the nizik is the worst of the mazik, and that's all he has to pay. Here. Let's just show the case. Thank you, Mark. He's doing a wonderful job. Basically, The guy on top has two properties: really bad in Gaza and really good in Yerushalayim. The guy that got damaged has one property. It's like somewhere in between. Kfar Ahmad. It's not Yerushalayim, but it's certainly not Gaza. It's still in the green line. Let's call it. Okay, fine. So says the Gemara. This is like mazik idus v'ziburas. The mazik has two types: idus and ziburas. Vidus the nizik, and the nizik only has one piece. We call it idus, but it's not so idus. V'ziburas the mazik is shavaki idus the nizik. Aza not as good as Ahmad. So what should the mazik pay now? He can't pay him. He cannot pay him Aza. That's too bad. It has no value. The halach is the mishalom the mate of the day. He unfortunately has to pay, even according to Shlomo. In this case, he would pay him from Yerushalayim. The leimatzi amalei taat govim miziburas. He can't tell him you go get Aza. The govim meitav. So I want to show you something. Here, let's do this. What about? So he has to pay him from Yerushalayim. Okay. What about this case? This is a case in Rishonim. I thought this is a fascinating case. You see this? Look, Michael. The guy on top, the mazik, has three types of fields. He has a ziburis, beinunis, and idus. And he damaged his field, Ahmad. According to Rabbi Shmuel, that says you go by the nizuk. You go by the nizuk, not the mazik. You go by the best of the nizuk. What field do you guys say he should pay? He has three fields. He can pay, no, certainly not ziburis. But I'm asking you, should he pay beinunis, which that's what he damaged, just pay him back, or idus? So the Rosh says perhaps he has to pay him from the idus. Because once Rabbi Shmuel says you don't line it up, then you go to the mazik's best. It's a very interesting halacha. And with that, we'll finish today's shir. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day. Yishkoch for coming tomorrow. And the rest of my time here in Miami, it's 9 p.m. And on Erev Shabbos, 2 p.m. Shkoyach, thank you for having me. Shkoyach, Mr. Saka, and your brother.